going to ask each one of you specific, of course, about your experience with Bob. So I again actually start with you, Chris. So you were one of the early users of Bob, okay, as you were modernizing your tax platform. What were some of the key things that you were trying to do differently?
Yeah, so we started to use Bob shortly after Tech Exchange last fall down in Orlando. And right out of the gate, we were evaluating a series of different agentic harnesses for that modernization effort that I talked about. And there were several things that aligned with our need for regulatory compliance, one of which turned out to be what Bob calls the different modes. So the ability to customize the behavior of Bob through the use of modes was really critical for us as we tried to align Bob very closely with our methodology, our way of working, our way of testing, our way of validating the computations that we do in our platforms for tax purposes. And so the mode element of that was very differentiating for us. The second thing I'll mention was Bob memory and the approach of memory in Bob and the ability for Bob to both learn about our individual developers and our platforms in a way that was repeatable was superior to the memory approach that we see in other agentic harnesses where they use external tools or MCP or whatnot to provide that memory capability. So both of those features, the memory and the different customized mode capabilities, allowed us to meet those regulatory compliance goals in a way that was consistent with our way of working and made it much easier to integrate.
Oh, great. So now I'm going to ask you that, was there a moment that actually things just click for your team and then you say that, okay, we are going to change how we are moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because some of the team is in the audience here. And so they probably could stand up and give their own version of it. But for me personally, to see that first time that the little Bob hammer is working and to see it churn out a set of code or run some test results and to have it be exactly the way I would have approached it, right? Not to say that my way is the best way, but clearly it is. But to see that Bob was able to work in the way that we work, and that was game changing for me, and it made me realize that, wow, this is really a digital workforce that we have here now.
Oh, great. So, Sai, I know that you're also seeing some very impressive results actually from Bob, going the speed in modernizing Java, going from weeks to days. So can you actually tell us more, especially tell us what you do differently with Bob compared to other tools?
Yeah, so we were introduced to Bob at IBM Tech Exchange in Orlando in October, and we brought it back into the technical business. And one of the applications and platforms that we have is a recruitment platform, and it had a Java code base, a legacy Java code base. There was a lot of technical debt within that code base. There was about 127 deprecated APIs as part of that code base. The initial project plan was about 9 months with about 14 Java developers to be able to modernize that code base. And we introduced Bob into that scenario. And Bob was able to modernize that code base in 3 days. And my technical developers didn't know what to do because they didn't know whether this was real or not. And it took us about another few days to actually review that. And compared and stacked to other tools, we just found Bob to be absolutely phenomenal. The return on investment is speaking for itself at the moment.
Yeah, you know that my next question is, you already answered it very well, that what surprised you the most?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Can you double click on that? Like, especially how your team actually react to it when they actually start using Bob?
Yeah. I think it was the operational efficiency,
yeah,
the cost optimization, and allowing the technical team to use a product that gave us real world results. That was a surprise for us.
Okay, great. Funo-san, yeah. I know that your organization is focusing on mission critical IBM I system. So can you tell us more about the challenges you are facing, especially around risk and system understanding?
Yeah, we see 2 challenges right now. One is how to maintain or modernize IBM RPG application. The other one is they are struggling to leverage existing data for new business. And RPG application is black box with no documents or without updating documentation. The application management is depending too much on specific senior engineers, and at the same time, new hires take a long time to become professional. Yeah. In addition, Japanese is very conservative, and their priority is stableness, and many clients has no time to do new things. But this stops business growth, I think.
Okay. So when you start using Bob, especially on IBM I system, what stood out to you, and why has it actually been very important to your company, especially to your client?
Two things stand out to me. First, I was so impressed with good accuracy for explaining RPG code. We tried RPG 3 and RPG 4, and we compared with other vendor tools. But Bob is best.
Oh, thank you.
I love Bob.
You make my day.
Yeah.
You make my day. Thank you. Thank you. So
Yeah.
now, finally, last but not least, Chris. So how's your, same question is, how is your experience with Bob? And what do you see actually Bob actually going next?
Yeah, so the experience with Bob was very significant since December. We start by involving 20 people just to see if it was interesting. And suddenly we were 80 people onboarded onto the tool. What was impressive was the fact that we had some business line onboarding themselves, putting full squads and delivering application, the full life cycle of new application to just compete with, those new competitors, the fintechs and others, specifically on this. So that was the first use case that we had, the first return on experience, but we had a lot. We had some people from the mainframe trying to redraw documents, their application. We had people trying to figure out how to break application into microservices. So, all the spread of user experience were there. So that was very interesting to see, that the use cases were quite unlimited in a way. So where do we see Bob coming next is probably the fact that we have to put all the guardrails, making sure that, we are a bank and we have to set those rules within the bank on how to move forward, how to enable the junior people to go faster with the type of tools that we are putting in place. So we see Bob as an enabler to do that, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a little high-level questions because similar to UI, you are in a very highly regulated environment, right? So scaling those capabilities require very strong governance and control.
Yeah.
So how would you say that has been the secret to balance between AI, innovation, and speed in that particular environment?
Yeah, so
of yours?
I guess the point is it enables speed, but the requirement is to put the guardrail in place. So there's two types of guardrail, the one that are delivered by the ecosystem, so IBM and partners, and the one that are coming from the rules of the bank and what the regulators are asking us. Two types of things, security and resilience, are the two things that we have to put in place to move forward and deliver not only speed, but speed, resilience, and security, all by design.
Okay, so now this is a lightning round, so I'm going to ask one final question. If you are going to use one word or even a couple words to describe what Bob actually to you or what can do for you, what would that be? So I'm going to start with Christoph.
Yeah, I would just use some of the terms that I've heard from the team. It's cool again, and IT is cool again. So yeah, that would be the first.
Hey, Uno-san, what's Bob to you?
Yeah, Bob is best friend for me.
Sai.
Yeah, so Bob is part of our management team, right? And we call Bob the new ATO, which is Artificial Technology Officer.
Oh, wow, he has a new name now, so thank you, Sai. So how about you, Chris?
I don't know that I can top ATO. I'm going to use that one. For me, I just refer to it as our secret weapon. I don't think many people fully appreciate the capabilities that Bob has, not just in the traditional SDLC, but also way beyond that, right? In all areas of the business. And so for us, I do look at it as our secret weapon. I'm gonna have to come up with something as crafty as ATO to describe it, but it is a critical part of how we deliver to our clients.
Thank you so much. Please actually give a round of applause to our clients.